Hello, and welcome to Legislative Testimony, What You Need to Know. The most important thing is that your words have power, and you'll be using them to create change. In order to testify before the legislature, you will follow legislative protocol. It begins with Good morning, Mr. or Mrs. Chairperson. My name is Ferd Nerdberger. My last name is spelled Passmybill. Make sure you name the bill to which you are speaking. So you would say, I am speaking in favor of House Bill 123. Some people resent this protocol. It seems so old-fashioned. But it is the exact thing that Diane Sands talked to our class about when she spoke about the ritual framework that allows people with differing and sometimes opposing perspectives to actually work together.
Next, read your testimony. Make sure you can read it flawlessly and modulate your voice. Deliver it like you mean it. Use an authoritative voice. Pause when you need to catch your breath or for effect. If the committee has given a time frame, make sure you have timed your testimony. If you are working with others, you will know ahead of time that you will have between 3 to 4 minutes generally. Make eye contact with the legislators. Smile when appropriate. Off the cuff works for some, like Brian Schweitzer, but he had a lot of practice at it. Most of us do well with flawless preparation. Before you testify, you will want to know to whom you will be giving your testimony. That means do your homework. Who sits on the committee? Who will ask questions that will stump you? Who will undermine your testimony? Who will be looking bored? Who needs the statistics that you will provide?
You might also want to prepare for a bevy of questions, some of which will be spot on, and some of which will be reflective of political rhetoric and ideology rather than the content you are providing. Situate your expertise. By what authority do you present your information? This should be thought through in advance. Are you presenting your work as a credentialed expert who's done years of research? Are you presenting your testimony as a humble but knowledgeable citizen who has a clearly and well-researched perspective?
When preparing your testimony, make sure you nod to the big guns. That is to say, who are the top names in the field relative to your topic? Are they recognizable? Pay attention to your opponents. Bolster your comments with statistics, but know that there are counter-arguments. As much as you can, count on them. A little bit of theatrics or choreography goes a long way here. You don't have a corner on the market relative to truth. Nodding in this direction will help. For example, put out a teaser. For example, in about 20 minutes, you will hear a counterpoint of the view. This sets up your knowledge of opposition. Then you will want to state your facts in such a way as to counter them.
If you include statistics, make sure you can back them up. Know where your numbers come from, so that when a question comes your way, you can answer it. You can also make a handout for the committee, and don't feel like you have to cite every single statistic. Bardosh says to use statistics in a documentary role rather than an educative one. What that means is to state the problem. Quote, sexual assault is a national problem that has reached epidemic proportions. That's the fact. Now use the statistics to document the information. Quote, the CDC estimates that 1 in 5 women is sexually assaulted before she turns 25. Evoking emotion is fine, but it may not always be your emotion that you evoke. For example, you might say, rape victims report difficulty sleeping, eating, concentrating, and many contemplate suicide as a way to end their pain.
You may want to quote those who have experienced the issue. About homelessness, our very own MC testified about a woman coming out of prison. She describes her experiences as mentally and physically exhausting, daunting, and scary in an uncertain new world. Note that this is her description of coming out of prison, not going in. Finally, line up your speakers. Plan ahead of time who in your group will be testifying and in what order. Know the content as well. Do you want a motion to come before statistics? Do you want testimony from the everyday folk before the experts? Decide what works best.
I guess it comes down to a lot of strategy and pre-planning. So that's all for now, and good luck with your testimonies in the future, and as always, happy forking.